Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
All right. Hey, guys. Welcome back to our show. I'm your host, John Harcar, and I'm here today with Melina, let me make sure I get this right, Montelongo and Dr. Daniel Murray. And what we're going to talk about is, besides their journey in real estate, the importance of community in both business and in life, and how important it is to really have that within, to help you grow. Remember, guys, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, really all real estate entrepreneurs, 2 to 5x your business. We do that by providing tools and resources that help you grow the business you want to grow, and in turn, you live the life you dreamed of. So, guys, welcome to our show.
So much. Honored to be here.
Yeah, I'm super excited to talk about you guys, looking over your bios and, talking before, some great experience and probably some great knowledge. But before we get into kind of our topic, tell our folks a little bit about you guys, your background, what got you into real estate, kind of what got you here.
Sure, I'll go first since I'm the lady in the house. I always say that real estate found me because I bought my first house 2 years after getting married. I thought that was the way I was supposed to go. I thought that's what people do. They get married, they buy a house, they have kids. So I bought my first house at 20 years old, and then wanted to move to Austin. We didn't want to sell it, so we're like, let's rent it. So we rented it, we lease optioned it. And now I have another investor that took over the property, and I still have interest in the property. But through that process, I just learned all kinds of different strategies. And our background was in construction. So then we decided, why are we doing this for other people? Why are we remodeling other people's homes? Let's do this for ourselves. So we started buying houses and fixing them up and selling them. And a TV show producer caught wind of us and our activity in San Antonio, Texas. And we did a flip show, which was fun, interesting, and really uncomfortable, personally.
Why was it uncomfortable?
It's just like our life, because we weren't acting. That was our life. Like, we are who we are on a platform. And so it was interesting to find out what type of feedback we got in relation to the projects, in relation to our personal relationships, and how we did things personally. So I always say that money and a platform will really highlight a person's character. And so we quickly found out that we were all very different in our family, which is right. Like, you have your chosen community, and then you have your given community, and that starts with family. And so we were all very different, had different purposes and visions. So that started in real estate, and I just continued to be involved in wholesaling, a little bit of multifamily, small development, and we actually did a commercial building. We flipped a commercial building. So I have a lot of experience in types of real estate transactions. The best part of it is people. I love working with people. I love inspiring people. My purpose is to empower others to be the best versions and the fullest expressions of themselves. And that, I believe, that's what led me to Dr. Murray.
Okay. And you mentioned you were in construction, I think, or maybe you weren't prior to when you had that first house. I love to ask this for everybody. Like, was there a influence in your life prior, a book, something that kind of spurred you to that real estate momentum or that real estate path?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
No.
No?
Think and Grow Rich was the first business book that I read. I read it every year. But
Yep.
as far as real estate specifically, I think I learned of Rich Dad Poor Dad maybe 3 years in. But
Okay.
initially, this is a really interesting perspective because I'm an entrepreneur at heart. It's not specifically about real estate. I love business in general, and so Think and Grow Rich really inspired me. Sat well for me.
Perfect. All right, Dr. Murray, you're up.
Sure. So I was 16 years old and I walked into a buddy's house from high school and was really impressed with just the way that his family was living. It was the nicest house I'd ever been inside. And I grew up, just kind of an average family, average household. So it was my first exposure to wealth. And I asked him, what does your dad do? They had a pool table, they had the pool, they had the tennis court, which I'd never met anyone that had their own tennis court. My mind was blown at 16. So I asked him what his dad did because I had known his dad from football games and baseball practices, and he always showed up in a beat up pickup truck with paint and caulk on his jeans and all this stuff. And he said, well, my dad does real estate. And I said, oh, that's interesting. And that's all he said. Well, Jimbo came home that night from work and again, just looking like a dirty old contractor. And I said, Jimbo, good to see you again. Went up and shook his hand. I said, I'm really interested in learning about real estate. And he kind of was taken aback. I was just some punk kid, 16 years old, shooting pool in his house. And he said, well, why don't you come back in my office and we'll have a chat? And it turns out he was buying homes cash starting back in the 80s or in a DFW. So he would pick up a property in Mesquite or Garland, Texas for $20,000, put 10 grand in his own sweat and labor into it, fix it up, and then owner finance it. So by the time I looked him up on DCAT, he had like 56 properties under his belt. And
wow, so, awesome.
Yeah, I mean, all cash. He did really, really well for himself. And so I got inspired. I actually did an internship with him in high school. Ended up working for him after high school here and there and staying in touch with him. He became a mentor. And I made my first off-market offer when I was 19 years old. Didn't get it accepted. And back then, let's see, this was 1996, 97. There wasn't really internet to speak of. I mean, I found a property that was abandoned in my neighborhood. I tracked them down through DCAT and then the yellow pages or white. I guess.
What are those?
Yeah. So I found the owner that they lived in the neighborhood, but in another property. Went and knocked on their door. Didn't close the deal, but all that to say, I started my real estate career in high school.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir. Went ahead and got busy in college. Finished my degree, so put all the real estate stuff on the back burner while I was focusing on school. As soon as I graduated, first thing I did is acquire an off-market property, flipped it. I was working as a special education teacher at that point, so
cool.
I would wake up at 4 a.m, go work on the house for a couple hours, go teach school, work again a couple hours in the evening, did everything myself, did everything the wrong way, almost electrocuted myself a couple times, rewiring the house. I learned all the wrong ways to do it.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
The best way to learn.
Yeah. So I did 3 flips from 2003 to 2006. Acquired 3 more properties in 06, 07, 08. We all know what happened in 08. I got caught with my pants down in the middle of three flips.
Yeah.
But the good news is I entered into those properties at a really, really good price. One of them I got for $38,000. Ended up renting it for $1,000 a month.
No brainer.
Wish I had done that 20 times more.
Right.
So the 2008 crash, it seemed like I was going to be in a very bad position, but I turned into a landlord accidentally because nobody could get a loan after the crash in the sub 100 market. And so I was stuck with these properties, forced to rent them out. But when I saw like, whoa, I can rent these for $1,000 a month. They're cash flowing like crazy. So I learned how to be a landlord accidentally. I learned the value of holding properties long term. In the meantime, I decided to go back and get my doctorate. I went to chiropractic school from 2012 to 2016. Still had the 3 properties. They actually allowed me to not have to work full time while I was in grad school, which was a blessing. I sold all 3 of those properties, used that money to start my own business, my own chiropractic clinic. By 2018, I had a little bit of money in the bank. So I ran all the numbers on stocks, other sorts of investments, and I kept coming back to real estate and running these models and finding 20% return was achievable, whether I was looking at flipping, firm, any play in real estate. I saw that 20% returns were achievable, which is, almost double the stock market. So I got back into it in 2018, started flipping, did, I think, 14 deals in 2019. At this point, I knew how to run a business. I was much older, much more mature, had built the chiropractic clinic from scratch. So I had a few new tools under my belt. We now had internet and cell phones, which changed the game a little bit.
Right.
And so, ended up flipping over 30 properties, started getting into short-term rentals, got really heavy into short-term rentals in the run-up before COVID and during COVID. Then started having some tax issues because the academic income from the clinic combined with the flipping, everything else I was doing. Let's just say I was paying over 6 figures in taxes every year.
Ooh.
Met a guy at a chiropractic seminar who was also a real estate investor who started talking to me about multifamily and cost segregation studies as a way to mitigate my tax risk. Really liked him, very knowledgeable gentleman, and we developed a mentor-mentee relationship, started getting into multifamily, and I found out that that's the space that I want to be in. So right now I'm targeting between 5 and 50 doors, doing small syndications with other chiropractors, other investors, and
awesome.
We've been doing really well, and I've really been enjoying the bigger value add plays in the mid-sized multifamily space.
Incredible. Great story. Like you said, you learned hard knocks, man. That's the best way to learn. And I think you did what a lot of people don't. You sought out a mentor, whether it was, consciously or subconsciously, you gravitated towards that. What do you guys think, Melina, I'll start with you. What do you guys think have been, before we talk about the community part, what have been some of the keys to your success throughout the years? Because, I don't know what your timeline was around that 08. I know you mentioned it. What kind of mindset or keys to success were really crucial for you guys to get to where you are now?
I would say mindset. I would say prayer. I would say doing to others as you want done unto you. I would say, being the light, waking up, knowing that.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Everything's going to be okay. Things, the environment is always changing. The deal is always changing. The other thing that I think is important is if it's to be, it's up to me. This is like one of the things I learned in one of my leadership classes. Like, if it's going to happen, it's because I show up. When I show up, I'm going to show up like God fucking sent me,
Yeah.
Not, excuse me, if that's like, that just.
That's okay. Yeah, we can edit that out. That's no worries.
But I think it's important for people to show up with confidence and to know that the confidence doesn't necessarily come from them. I think there's a higher power that they can tap into that we're all given. That when you show up, you got to like move in faith. You got to go for it. You got to take the leap. Leverage courage of other people that have done it aside from you. Know that it's going to be okay. So I think that this is one of the most important things that has supported me in any success and supported me in all the failures also. Because like I failed really big. I have made some huge failures. And what sets me up for the next success or the next deal or the next opportunity is knowing that it's going to be okay, and then I'm led by a higher power other than myself.
Show me a man that hasn't failed. I'll show you a man that's not successful.
Absolutely.
Before we get to you, what were some of the tools, specific books, mindset tools, things that you used just throughout that time?
I went to a Tony Robbins seminar when I was 19. That was I'm a real people person. I like interacting kinesthetically. So I went to Tony Robbins when I was 19 and walked on fire and got up on stage and did that whole interaction. I created some friendships that continued on from there, continuing to surround myself with others who were like-minded. And then I just continued in my self-development. I went to a couple of different leadership programs in Vegas, here in San Antonio, Texas, or in Bandera, Texas. So I'm constantly leveraging. I listen to a lot of podcasts and audibles and books, but I love people. I love connection.
Interaction.
I love interaction.
All right, Dr. Murray, your turn.
Sure. The number one thing for me, I think, has been mentorship and coaching, education. And there's a few people in my life that have really inspired me to grow, have reached back and lent a hand and helped me to pull myself up and to create the life that I'm enjoying now. So very early on, I played sports. I was an athlete growing up and in high school, and I wasn't very good, but I was coachable. So I discovered really quickly that my coachability made up for my lack of athleticism. And I've parlayed that into the business world as well. I'm not the smartest. I'm obviously not the most handsome, but I'm smart enough to know that I need help, and especially in areas that I've never navigated before. So I've always looked for coaching. I've put a lot of time and money into business coaching. It started in chiropractic school. I had a buddy that I went to high school with. Actually, the same guy whose dad was into real estate is the one that got me into chiropractic. So the story.
Oh wow!
The story intertangles in some really interesting ways. I watched him graduate chiropractic school and almost fail out of practice, and then he got with a practice management group, a chiropractic coaching group, and it turned his entire life around. I mean, it went into beyond business and into his personal life. The relationship with his wife and his kids got better. So I watched this transformation, And I thought, you know what? Coaching is one of the most underrated tools in the tool belt for any industry. Going through all the education for chiropractic and running the business, I realized that a lot of business principles are universal. So it doesn't matter if you're doing real estate, chiropractic, dental, landscaping. It really doesn't matter. There's universal business principles that can apply to anything that you're doing. And I think the best investment anybody can make is back into themselves in the form of education and mentorship. I've been really blessed to work with Mark Ferguson with the Invest for More group out of Greeley, Colorado, Scott Garber out in the Northeast, Liam Schubel, Steve Hayes, Chad Webster, Hugh Edwards. I mean, my list of coaches and mentors is a mile long, and I 100% attribute my success to those guys sharing their time and their treasure with me.
Yeah, I had a gentleman on yesterday, I think it was, that I was in the room, and Warren Buffett was in that room, and someone asked Warren Buffett, like, what would you invest in today? Gold, silver, real estate. And he said, yourself. Invest in yourself. Let's talk about community, guys. What's important? Why we share a lot about mentors, coaches, being in that right room. Why is it important to have that community in both your business and your personal life?
Well, Doc and I actually launched a small business university based off of a book that he is in the process of completing. And you could talk more about that later, right? But I believe that when like minds come together, it creates a different mind. I think that it empowers the thought processes. I think that it calls forth higher ideas that maybe you wouldn't have thought of before. I think when these energies come together, I think that things happen. I think that you're more likely to accomplish things when you have others to leverage, and leverage in a positive way. Leverage when there's a win-win scenario. I say leverage loosely because I think that people kind of shy away from that. But you're in business, you're absolutely going to leverage somebody else's skill set, knowledge base. Sure, we talked about it. But I think that when you can put yourself in the minds or in the room with other higher minds, you may not have thought things the way that you did, or you may have like these epiphanies, epiphanies that come out seemingly miraculously. So I think that's why it's important.
Yeah.
I've got
Dr. Murray.
two quotes that I think are very relevant. Number one is "No man is an island," and number two is "Ego is not the amigo." So,
that's kind of shirt.
I like that second one. I'm about to say it sounds like a shirt or a mug, one of the two.
Let's do it. Hey, we're see, here's the mastermind.
Here's the collaboration. Yes, sir.
This is how it happens. So I see a lot of people that and these two ideas go hand in hand. A lot of people want to be able to say that they've done it all on their own, that nobody's helped them, that they're a self-made man or a self-made woman. And when I say no man is an island, I mean humanity, man, woman, doesn't matter. But people let their ego get in the way. They want all the credit. They want all the prestige that comes with building this business or this company or whatever it is. But nothing is accomplished with one person. There's
Never.
No way. And in real estate, I think that idea multiplies. You can't be the plumber, the electrician, the real estate agent, the property manager, the landscaper. It's impossible to wear all those hats. So if you can let that egotistical idea go and realize that you need help, whether it's coaching, whether it's building a team, whether it's being part of a community, getting off of that island, that's going to make your business explode, in my opinion. So that's one of the number one things that I see people doing wrong is they think they can do it all by themselves. They think they know everything. And that's just not the case. Nobody has done this by themselves. And I don't care what business we're talking about. Everybody successful has a coach, a mentor, and a team around them. And that's the importance of community.
Well, we're never alone. I mean, God's with us at all times anyways. But that's the thing I hear from people the most. I think when I'm asking about their business that, and truly digging in is, yeah, it's just, I feel like I'm on an island. I don't feel like there's other people that are experiencing what I'm experiencing. And it's far from the truth, because I mean, I've seen it evident as part of our mastermind. Folks come in and just that community, that one connection, the proximity to that opportunity explodes. So what, if someone was, obviously we talked about joining, or right, not joining, we talked about, mentorships and masterminds and all that stuff. Like, what do you think is the most important tool for someone that is getting into the business, right? Whether it's real estate, whether it's whatever. I mean, what is the most important tool, step, advice, whatever you would give them to set them up for success?
I would say finding someone who is in your specific industry, and preferably even in your local area, doing what you want to do, that's had a track record of success. So if I was going to open up a restaurant, I would meet the most successful restaurants and owners in San Antonio, and I would find out which one was open to becoming my mentor. So industry specific, local, with a track record of success. And what I found is that the more successful people are in general, the more likely they are willing to give back, because somebody probably mentored them and they realized that that was an important part of their growth and their success. And so for me personally, I love nothing more than getting a phone call from some youngster in high school or college that wants to learn about real estate investing, wants to take me to lunch and pick my brain. It's like, hey, I will always make time for that, because that's the next generation. And it's important to me to give back, because again, my mentors and my coaches have directed me to pay it forward. And I just think it's the right thing to do.
I think it's
The Go-Giver. You ever read The Go-Giver? I'm sure you probably read The Go-Giver.
I have not actually.
Oh man, you got.
It's funny.
You gotta go get it. You gotta go get the book. It is incredible.
I think,
And it talks about, it's kind of about a story where this guy's looking for, to be connected to a big, to complete this big deal. And he gets connected with this really powerful dude. And he's just kind of blown away how the guy would take the time to meet him and spend the time with him. And the guy says, you'll really find that majority of the really successful people are more than happy to meet and share their knowledge and share their wealth. And that's kind of like the theme about our mastermind and our folks in it as well, our group. It's all about giving. It's about sharing. It's about, lifting all boats. You know what I mean? So let's talk about you guys. I think you said Small Business University. Is that what it is?
Yep.
That you guys have together? Okay. Why don't you tell us, our folks, a little bit about that?
Sure. So I realized through this whole process that, and I've heard this over and over again as I network with other small business owners. I'm in BNI, Business Networking International. That there's a lot of industry specific tools, but there's not a lot of information or resources for someone to start a small business and just go step by step. Like I have a I have a practice management group from chiropractic that has a book that says literally step 1, form an LLC, step 2. And I don't know of another resource out there that is similar. And and I work with a lot of these youngsters. They don't know what an LLC is. They don't know the difference between an S Corp and a C Corp. They don't know how to network. They don't know what BNI is. There's so many different aspects of owning a small business. And I just didn't see that there was a tool that walked people from start to finish on how to be successful. And so I started creating one, and once Melina found out about it, she just got fired up. Talk about the sense of community. I'm good at creating stuff. I'm not good at promoting myself. Like I don't want to like go and toot my own horn and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But she's willing to do it. So we've decided to team up. She's handling the logistics. She's keeping me on track with my calendar. So we're trying to bring this thing to the public to help small business owners with a starting place, and also to make it affordable. The last thing I'll say, some of these coaching groups, it's like when you're trying to start a small business and you're rubbing 2 pennies together, and someone's asking for $50,000, and nothing wrong with that. The people that can afford it, and I'm sure it's worth it. But from my perspective, I think we can provide an affordable solution for small business owners that just can't afford to come out of pocket $50,000. And so filling a lot of different needs with this concept that we're launching. So I'm excited. Melina's been amazing. I wouldn't be this far along without her. So again, you've got to find people to create a team. She fills in my weekly slots, and maybe vice versa. I don't know. Hopefully. So yeah, that's what we're launching.
That's awesome. Melina, any last words, advice, comments that we want to make? We're kind of pushing time here, but anything you want to share with the audience before we go?
I just want to say, go be great. Go do it. You know, I think that's the most powerful thing that you can do is decide and go all in on yourself and your vision and your dreams, because that's what you're here to do. That's what you're here to accomplish. So do it.
I love it. And you are probably an amazing, pump up the energy. I'm going to call you every morning and be like, Melina, I'm dragging here. Help me. Guys, thank you so much for coming on here, man. I mean, we could probably talk for another 30 minutes. There's a lot of stuff that I wanted to ask, so I didn't get a chance to, but guys, if they want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to reach out?
I'm on Instagram mainly. Melina Montelongo is the best place. And then from there, all links and stuff is there. But DM me. Just send me a message. Yeah.
Cool.
And I'm on Facebook, Daniel Murray DC. That's kind of where I hang out on the interwebs. So yeah, send me a friend request, send me a message, and let's connect. I'm happy to help anyone any way I can.
Sweet. You guys, hope you took some great notes. I hope you reach out to these folks and let them help you. This was a great podcast. Thank you guys so much again for coming on here. I really enjoyed it, and I hope everybody out there enjoyed it as well. We will see you on the next one. Cheers.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.